house.
Mrs. Hudson, I apologize for the interruption. As you know, my brother has embarked on a program of self-destruction remarkable even by his standards, and I'm endeavoring to find out what triggered it.
And that's what you're all looking for?
Quite so.
What's on his mind?
So to speak.
He thinks you're clever. Poor old Sherlock. Always going on about you. I mean, he knows you're an idiot, but that's okay because you're a lovely doctor. But he has no idea what an idiot you are.
Is this merely stream of consciousness abuse, or are you attempting to make a point?
You want to know what's bothering Sherlock? Easiest thing in the world. Anyone can do it. Unmade breakfast, karate the fridge, unanswered question. Well, what does he do with anything he can't answer, John, every time?
He stabs it.
Anything he can't find the answer for, bang, it's up there.
When I'm gone, if I'm gone, I need you to do something for me. Save John Watson. Save him.
I have a question for you. Why are you here? It's like you walked into my den and laid down in front of me. Why?
That's what it takes.
I'm here.
I'd like to hear you say it. Say it for me, please.
I want you to kill me.
John.
It can never be easy.
Oh my goodness, she gave him the call.
Oh, thank God! You're precious!
Increase the dosage 4 or 5 times. Toxic shock should shut me down within about an hour.
Then I restore the settings. Everyone assumes it was a fault, or you just gave up the ghost.
Yes.
Tell me how you feel.
He's a psychopath.
I feel scared.
Be more specific. You only get to do this the once.
I'm scared of dying.
Say that for me. Say it.
I don't want to die.
Once more, for luck.
I don't want to die.
Oh.
I don't want to die.
Lovely.
John, hurry up!
Here it comes.
Oh my God.
The only way to save John is to make him save you.
Yeah.
Why do you do it?
Give him a
Why
purpose.
do I kill?
Make him face his true emotions.
About hatred and killing human beings. It just makes me incredibly happy.
Gosh, it's disturbing.
Take a big breath if you want.
Go to hell, Sherlock. Go right into hell and make it look like you mean it.
Murder is a very difficult addiction to manage. People don't realise how much work goes into it. You have to be careful. But if you're rich and famous and loved, it's amazing what people are prepared to ignore.
Go and pick a fight with a bad guy. Put yourself in harm's way.
That's one hell of a request, okay?
Maintain eye contact. Maintain eye contact. It is my life to watch it.
If he thinks you need him, I swear.
He's always gonna show up. Kick him in! Kick it in! Be the hero! And hurry up!
He will be there.
Or use that.
Mr. Holmes, you okay?
What are you doing? You should distress. I'm helping you.
Yeah, fuck you.
Sherlock, what was he doing to you? Suffocating me, overdosing me.
Come on.
Saline.
Saline?
Yeah, saline.
What do you mean saline?
Well, obviously, I got those Cornish to switch the bags. She's a big fan, you know.
I'm sorry, that's good.
I'm not okay, malnourished.
Well, I mean, he expected that, so of course he took
I
precautions.
don't recall making any confession. What would I be confessing to?
You could listen to it later.
Well, there is no confession to listen to.
The
Oh,
cane.
Mr. Holmes.
The cane.
We found
The
3
shine for
potential recording
something.
devices in the pocket.
You cock. Yeah. Utter cock. I did the first time. How's it open? Screw the top.
I love this. Brilliant.
It worked in his favor.
2 weeks ago?
Brilliant.
Unpredictable.
No,
He can predict what they do. He knows him.
I'm just a cock.
He's so good. You gotcha.
You didn't kill Mary.
Thank you.
Mary died saving your life. It's her choice. No one made her do it. No one could ever make her do anything. But the point is, you did not kill her.
In saving my life, she conferred a value on it. It is a currency I do not know how to spend.
Tomorrow, 6 till 10. I'll see you then.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
That's a start. She's back!
That noise, that's a text alert noise.
What was that?
She's back!
She's dead. Oh, I bet she isn't dead. I bet he saved her. Oh my god. Oh, the posh
He
boy
did.
loves the dominatrix. He's never knowingly under-cliched, is he?
I mean, how does it work?
How does what work?
You and the woman. Do you go to a discreet harvester sometimes? Is there nights of passion in High Wycombe?
Oh, for God's sakes, I don't text her back.
No, but you like receiving text.
Bloody...
She's out there, she likes you, and she's alive. And do you have the first idea how lucky you are? Yes, she's a lunatic, she's a criminal, she's insanely dangerous, trust you to fall for a sociopath.
Oh, married an assassin.
But she's, you know...
What?
Just text her back.
Why?
Because High Wycombe is better than you are currently equipped to understand.
I once caught a triple poisoner in High Wycombe.
That's only the beginning, mate.
Romantic entanglement, while fulfilling for other people,
Would complete you as a human being.
that doesn't even mean anything.
Just text her.
Just listen to him,
Something
okay?
less than a chance, because that chance doesn't last forever. Trust me, Sherlock. It's gone before you know it. Before you know it.
Yeah.
She was wrong about me.
Mary, how so?
She thought that if you put yourself in harm's way, I'd rescue you or something. But I didn't until she told me to. And that's how this works. That's what you're missing. She taught me to be the man she already thought I was. Get yourself a piece of that.
Forgive me, but you are doing yourself a disservice. I have known many people in this world, but made few friends, and I can safely say
I cheated on her. My clever comeback. I cheated on you, Mary. There's a woman on the bus. We texted constantly. Want to know when? Every time you left the room, that's when. When you were feeding our daughter. When you were stopping her from crying, that's when. That's all it was. Just texting.
You needed to come clean.
But I wanted more. I'm not the man you thought I was. I'm not that guy. I never could be. But that's the point. That's the whole point. Who you thought I was is the man who I want to be.
Well then, get the hell on with it.
She's gone. You needed to make peace with that. Oh.
it's okay.
It's not okay.
No. But it is what it is.
God.
So, while he's given me
Such a good episode.
It's your birthday.
Find the damn paper!
Yeah.
Thank you!
So you weren't imagining everything. Someone did come.
So, where is she?
I didn't mean Mycroft. I meant the other one.
Which other one?
You know, the secret one.
How did you know about that? I didn't tell you that.
I must have done.
I really didn't.
Well, maybe Sherlock told me.
You've met Sherlock.
I met him before that.
Well,
She's the one
We
that...
spent a night together.
She was the one at the apartment. I thought that she was familiar.
Huh.
You know what I expected, Mr. Holmes? You're nicer. I added some deductions for Sherlock. It was quite good. He didn't get the big one.
What? Gosh.
Dennis does have excellent taste in chips.
What's that?
What's what?
Flower in your hair. It's like I had on the bus.
You look very sweet. But then... you have such nice eyes.
Oh my goodness.
Mine doesn't really.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, you... Oh, please don't go anywhere. I'm sure the therapist who actually lives here wouldn't want blood on the carpet. Oh, hang on. It's fine. She's in a sack in the airing cupboard.
Who are you?
Isn't it obvious? I'm Euros.
Euros.
My parents loved silly names, like Euros, or Mycroft, or Sherlock. Oh, look at him. Didn't it ever occur to you, not even once, that Sherlock's secret brother might just be Sherlock's secret sister?
Whoa!
He's making a funny face. I think I'll put a hole in it.
No, no. Fucking hell! You know! No. You're kidding me, right? You're shitting me, right? Okay, first things first. I did not recognize her at all. You thought she looked familiar? When we were at the morgue and the daughter was different, at first I thought, okay, the girl that was at the apartment looks like the therapist.
I didn't even know.
I thought that okay, no, that's bullshit. That can happen. And I thought that for sure that maybe the daughter died and he bought an actress to play the role of his daughter. I guess.
don't know if it's because I was focusing on something else, but I did not see a resemblance at all. And there's barely anything that changed from one to the other. Like the hair color, the glasses, like almost nothing changed. But it was so clever. She was hiding in plain sight. She was literally just there.
Yep.
So, okay, when we saw the paper, it was obvious that someone did come to his apartment. Someone did give him the insight that he needed to catch that serial killer.
Yeah.
So, although it was really well done, because in this episode it's really hard to understand like what's real and what's not real, because at the beginning everything was, you know, turned completely around. Everything was shown to us a certain way, and then they showed us the same scene another way, and then we couldn't really trust Sherlock. So
yeah.
I knew in my heart that he was right about the serial killer, and he did say to John, like, you know, whatever's gonna happen, please remember that 2 weeks ago I still had my wits about me, that I could still, you know, read what you were gonna do. I could still, you know, I was still myself, and he proved it. Like, he proved it by knowing exactly where he was gonna end up.
Yeah.
With his therapist.
Molly,
yeah.
Miss Hudson, everything.
And I mean, at the beginning of the episode, we saw that despite the state of his mind and everything, like, Sherlock could still think like Sherlock does. It's just that he had a harder time keeping up with it. So, but his wits are still there. He's still pretty good. And I mean, one of the best episodes of this show is when he was on drugs and, you know, imagining this entire scenario. So, I think I believed him about the serial killer. I was worried that as the state he was in was going to basically go against him, that no one was going to believe him, and it was going to lead to something terrible. Until, like, we found out that it was all part of his fucking plan, because it's always what happens on this show. Everything that happens, or almost everything that happens, ends up being a plan. One thing, though, I take from this is...
that's why he told John that he couldn't tell him because he wouldn't like it at the beginning.
Well, no, because the plan was to die, basically, to put himself in harm's way. That only tells me one thing. Like, Sherlock has always been really good at putting himself in danger. Like, with Moriarty, with other, you know, killers and other criminals he went against.
For a bigger purpose, yeah.
Yeah, he's willing to put himself at risk if he knows it's gonna bring him to victory, you know? I think that deep down he's intelligent and good enough to know that he's got a lot of chances. You know, he has a lot of chance to survive this. Like, he's gonna survive this if everything goes according to what he planned. But in this case, everything relied on his reading John's character his reading of John's character, and I think he knows him so well. At this point, he proved it, and despite what John was saying, like, oh, you don't know me, you don't know what I did and stuff, I think that he understands who he is at heart, maybe even better than John understands himself. They're so close.
Sometimes the people that you're the most close with are those that understand you the most.
Like, John understands Sherlock.
Even better than yourself, yeah.
Yeah, John understands Sherlock as well, more than Sherlock understands himself. Like, he's the one that opened his heart to people. He's the one that allowed him to be the guy we saw in this. The guy that is willing to put himself at risk and, you know, basically turn to chance for a case to solve itself and rely on his heart for everything to pull through. Not just his wits. That's a huge difference from the Sherlock we met in the first episode of season 1.
That for sure is, yeah. I just want to say a few words about Miss Hudson.
Oh, she's so cool.
Like, I knew that she, with Sherlock, was responsible for her husband's death, basically, because she asked him to put him in jail and kill him. And she's such a badass lady.
She's usually really, I mean, we've seen her be badass before, and we know that she can keep up with these two, but I think that in this episode, it went the extra mile, you know? It was even more than what we've come to expect from her. She showed her true colors, but I think it's what matters here is not necessarily the fact that she always had that in her. It's just that this time the circumstances demanded that she
needed to act, yeah.
Yeah. She cares so much about her boys. She, like a mother, you know, like a very, very good friend, like an older sister, but I think a mother fits more.
Yeah, mother figure.
But she cares about them and she's with them all the time. You know, maybe not next to them, but she's downstairs. She hears about them. She reads about them. She's the one that Sherlock let in first, sort of.
Yeah.
So she's involved, and when something goes wrong, like, they're pretty extreme. Sherlock is pretty intense, but when something goes wrong, she notices it first, and compared to, for example, Mycroft, who's all about the brains and how Sherlock operates, she understands his heart. She understands how he feels. And I mean, Watson's the same, you know, they both understand how he feels, and that gives them an insight that Mycroft doesn't quite have with his brother. Whew. Mary, by the way, like, I said it in the episode, but what a fucking request to ask, you know, Sherlock.
Well, she was an extreme woman, and she was extreme till the end.
They were both extreme. Both two extremes that loved the same guy, and they both understood that that was what was needed to save him. They needed to basically force him to face his emotions, force him to face his through feelings when it comes to Sherlock.
I really love that in that episode they use Mary as the more rational side of John's mind.
Because she was a figment of his imagination, so it was basically it was his subconscious.
I don't think that they put ghosts in this show yet,
but it was. I wasn't implying that it was a ghost, but the thing with this is it's not actually Mary that's there. It's John talking himself with Mary's face. So she's telling him the hard truths. She's telling him what he won't recognize, what he won't, you know, admit to himself.
Yeah.
So every time she was saying something nice about Sherlock, or, you know, something harsh about John's, lack of emotional response, you know, actual emotional response, because he was trying so hard to bury it all, it was coming from him.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, I really love that what it took for her to finally go, like, for him to become whole again, was for him to, you know, basically admit his guilt, because he felt so guilty about what he did and what he could never tell her, because he wanted to tell her before, and
it's understandable that he couldn't move on before he said it. Yeah.
He had a point, though, with, you know, it's the people we love that make us want to become the better version of ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, if you've got no one to prove yourself to, well, then you're just gonna free fall and lose yourself. You know, there's no point. You know, why would you want to be a good person? Sometimes, you know, you want to be a good person for yourself, for your own, you know, your own good. But having people around that believe in you and push you,
it can help.
It can help a lot. And that's how he saw it. That's how he saw Mary. She was the person that made him want to become a better guy. So I don't know. This entire situation was really sad, and I'm glad it's settled. You know, I don't feel like they're back again, like, completely, but they're fucking close, you know, they're really close.
They're on a good start.
Yeah.
It's gonna take time, but slowly they're gonna both heal.
And I mean,
what happened, and they're gonna be okay at the end.
And as soon as John was telling, you know, Sherlock to text back the woman, Irene, and he was like, you know, she's gonna complete you, she's gonna make a better person out of you, she's the whole point and stuff. I'm like, this is a friend talking to a friend. Like, he's trying to help him out for real here. It's not about his conscience, it's not about a doctor trying to help a patient, it's a friend helping a friend. So this is a very good start.
I don't know if Irene Adler's gonna be the good one for Sherlock though.
They fit.
They fit well together, yeah, I can recognize that.
I see them together. And maybe not like as a couple, but they're in each other's lives for a reason, and I think that she can keep him on his toes, and that's what he needs. Mm-hmm. So that's good. I mean, he likes her, otherwise he wouldn't text her sometimes.
He likes her wits, yeah.
Yeah, she can keep up, so that's good. But seriously, it was so hard seeing him like this.
You know what I love the most about this episode? All the analogy about hiding in plain sight, like the therapist who was the daughter at the apartment, the girl and the bus with John too.
Oh shit! Like that was genius.
You can do so much with just small changes. You don't want to do too much. Just change your hair. You want to be.
Well, I mean, remember when Sherlock came back to life?
Yeah.
He barely he did nothing to his face. He put like glasses and a mustache on. But John, people don't pay attention to their surroundings.
What I want to say is, you want to be forgivable. You want forgettable. Yeah. You don't want people to recognize a specific trait about your parents when you want to just go hiding in plain sight. In plain sight, yeah.
It was genius. I didn't see that coming at all. First of all, I didn't see the resemblance. I didn't catch on to that she was both the woman in his apartment and the woman that was the therapist for John and the woman in the bus. Like, that took me out.
The woman, I was surprised. I thought that she did look like maybe the therapist, but maybe not that much. But yeah.
But I mean, that was already pretty mind-blowing. But the fact that she's the other Holmes, that's the one that punches me in the face, because we've been hinting at her for a while. Usually when they mention the other Holmes, we're either like we listen to the information, but we don't discuss it, you know. It kind of goes in one side and goes out the other side.
Yeah,
we never really talked about the other Holmes, but it's been a while now that we've known there was another Holmes, and we assumed it was a brother, but it's true that it could pretty much be a sister too, you know. So the thing is, I never expected the other Holmes to be a villain, sort of, but it kind of makes sense, because why else would she be an outcast? Like, why else would they never talk about her? They barely mention her. She's not a part of their lives. Like, so what other reason than either something terrible happened to her and they feel guilty, or she's actually not a good person.
She's on the dark side.
Yeah. And speaking of dark side, by the way, there was one thing I wanted to say about the serial killer, when he mentioned that very important people, when they have status and money, they can do whatever the hell they want, and no one is going to do anything about it. It's so true. A lot, like the biggest killers in history did their murders in complete, and it's legal, you know. They presidents, dictators, you've got important figures, the governments, and everywhere in the world, they tend to do these things. They're just as bad. It's just that because there's a reason, or because it's covered by status and money, no one can do a thing about it. Yeah. It's actually it's pretty terrifying.
True.
Ugh, this entire episode.
But it's true that there's a huge difference with serial killers and just killers that kill people for a more personal motives.
Oh no, I'm not saying, like, okay, I said like serial killers, but these people I mentioned are not serial killers, because if you think about it, a serial killer, it depends on your definition of a serial killer, because serial killers could just be like people that committed several murders.
Okay, I'm not talking about people with power who do stuff. I'm just talking about, like, example, Jack the Ripper or the Zodiac,
Well, he
or
was serial
killers versus a single killer who kill for more personal motives.
No, but the serial killers, the thing with them is it's hard. Well, they usually have a pattern, and that's how you catch them. But they all have this disturbing, like you said, like addiction to murder.
Yeah.
That's why they do it again and again. It's not like a passion that's born out of a crime that's born out of passion. It's not like a one-time thing. Serial killers, the people that do it several times, they have this addiction, this disease in them that makes them like what they're doing. And sometimes they say they don't like it, but they keep doing it because they have that urge. That's what makes them terrifying, because the pattern exists, but it's not necessarily the pattern that makes them do things. You know, it's just a personal touch, because some serial killers want the fame. Like he was saying at the end, like, I'm going to be famous. Unfortunately, like, it's sad, but it's
one of the
true.
why they're doing it.
Yeah, serial killers are famous. Like, people talk about them, and we remember them still to this day because, I mean, society is perverted in this way. We're sadists?
Sadists?
Yeah. Sadic.
Yeah.
Anyway, sadistic. There you go. And it's the entire time I was watching this guy, like, he's an actor, but he did pretty well, because it's disturbing to see a guy like this, especially to hear him talk about his motives and just explain why he likes to do the things he does. Like, that's just, it's creepy. And I don't know if you've ever seen a documentary about other serial killers, but when you see a guy like that or a girl like that, you look in that person's eyes, even though they look normal sometimes, it's you can still catch that weird vibe from them. Like, they're not normal. You feel it in your bones. It's disturbing. So I just wanted to mention that, but
it's like a huge darkness in their eyes.
Yeah.
Empty. It looks, when you're searching for this warm feeling that you can recognize in other people, it's nothing.
Or on the contrary, sometimes they look normal, but it's the fact that they're not normal that makes it all disturbing, because they look like anyone else. You know, when sometimes you're gonna look at someone and you won't think twice about that person, and then you learn the truth about that person, and you look at the footage again, and you're like, shit.
They're just good at hiding in plain sight, basically. Again, they're just good to put on a mask.
Maybe, like, the other Holmes is a serial killer. I don't know what her backstory is, but
she's gonna be the big villain for the finale.
It's awfully late to introduce her to the story, by the way, but
yeah, it is late.
Sherlock is gonna realize that something's up, and I sure hope he shows up and saves him, because
I just hope that Watson is not dead, please.
Well, no, he's not gonna be dead. Not like this.
Thank you.
But it was such a good episode. You guys were saying this was one of your favorites, and I see why. Like, I was saying, I think the last episode, that I love when my favorite characters go through an emotional journey. Yeah. And it's not that I enjoy seeing them go through bad stuff, but when it's challenging for them, when it's challenging and emotionally wrecking for them, I don't know, it gives it a little plus. Like, it's entertaining, and it gets me, you know? And I gotta admit, like you were saying, because I was thinking the same thing, but Benedict Cumberbatch's acting in this episode was just amazing. Like, wow. Like, I know this show is good at, basically all the actors are good, the music is amazing, the visuals are intense, the direction, like, everything in the show is good.
I loved it. When he slowly explained about the notes and the windows and the sunlight.
Basically, the entire first part of this episode was visually stunning and intense and just wow, mind blowing. Like I said, like, this show is good at that, but this episode was kind of a little above and beyond what we're used to with this show. And
a little bit crazy, but we loved it. Whew.
The acting was so good. God.
Alright, so that's it for this episode, guys.
Yeah, we've been running in circles with our discussion.
It was nice, and
if you want to see the finale, basically, don't forget to, you can see it right now on our Patreon, the link is down below in the description.
Or it's going to be really soon, because as you probably come to realize with Sherlock, it takes a lot of time to do these episodes, because holy shit, it's a movie! It's a movie! It takes me a whole day to edit these things.
It's gonna be soon out. Okay?
Yeah, it's gonna be on Patreon first, so check it out. And yeah, we'll see you very soon, and if we have time, we might have a little surprise for the last episode.
Yep, so see you for the finale, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye!